Chelsea as a manager. He used to work for Chelsea in the youth setup at Stamford Bridge. He's faced Chelsea 14 times as a manager in his own right, and he has drawn 8 and lost 6 of those 14 without winning. And as you will know, in English football, the Premier League, the Football Association and the game in the country very much behind the Black Lives Matter campaign, and the players take a knee, as we have now become familiar with. And Clive, this has become one of the most important sights, I think, over the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's such a strong message that the Premier League and all footballers are sending out.
So Chelsea in white from right to left in the first 45 minutes. 8-time FA Cup winners against Leicester City, 4-time FA Cup runners up. They have never won the tournament. That's an early mistake by Billy Gilmour. Harvey Barnes onto it, back into him from Vardy, and the touch was just a little bit heavy from Barnes on the return, and it's into the gloves of a very grateful Willy Caballero.
Well, Gilmour is the one who gives the ball away, and then the interplay with Barnes. Vardy, I just felt he might have swept that ball in first time rather than trying to take the touch. A clear early chance for Leicester City.
Could have been one of the quickest FA Cup goals of the season, that, inside about 20 seconds. Billy Gilmour will have to clear his mind. Ball is won in the air by Soyuncu. Forward comes Yuri Tielemans here for Leicester, trying to find Ndidi. Mason Mount winning it back for Chelsea.
Steve, a real intensity to the start of this FA Cup quarter-final. You can see there's pace. There's certainly the ball ricocheting around.
And here's Perez for Leicester. Perez works it wide. Barnes will look to take on Reece James if he can. The fullback's done well and sees it behind for a goal kick. But it looks very much like Leicester City, who drew with Watford and Brighton in their 2 games after the comeback of the Premier League football, as though Brendan Rodgers has said, right, you've had 10 days to get back up to speed. Let's go and show that we are back at where we should be.
Absolutely, a really bright start. You see there Harvey Barnes trying to take that touch after the sloppy pass from Gilmour that was nearly punished, and he will look back on that, Steve, I'm sure, and regret not trying to an attempted first-time strike.
Willy Caballero with the clearance for Chelsea. And Chelsea have lost the ball to Ndidi, and Ndidi works it away to Barnes. It's all Leicester at the moment. Caballero stretching, Perez can't get onto it, and Chelsea are all over the place.
And Steve, it was Gilmour again. He was really sloppy. The pass was poor, and Leicester really on the front foot. The intensity in which they've started the game is very impressive.
Well, we've only played 2.5 minutes, as you can see, and Leicester have had 3 really presentable opportunities.
Well, that will be encouraging for Brendan Rodgers. He'll be really pleased with the way that his team have started. Frank Lampard will want his team to settle. They need to get possession of the ball, control possession.
Tielemans into Vardy. Perez is in the middle. Good block. Kurt Zouma made the block. But absolutely alarming for followers of Chelsea and for their coaching staff, just how easily Leicester are getting through.
Well, it's an electric start. There's an intensity in which the way they're closing down. They're forcing Chelsea to make mistakes. Gilmour on a couple of occasions have been guilty of that. It really is impressive from the home side. Chelsea need to settle. They need to get their shape. They need to keep the ball for a period of time to take the sting away from the way Leicester have started this game.
Well, here's Chilwell down the line. Kurt Zouma is there. Antonio Rudiger, I beg your pardon, is there, exchanging a pass with N'Golo Kanté. Caballero, not the finest touch actually.
But Steve, the way they're closing Leicester, immediately they lose possession. They're pressing really high, not allowing Chelsea any chance to control the game. Again, Vardy looking to run in behind at every opportunity. Tries to sweep that ball across the face of the goal for Perez on the right side.
You get the feeling that Zouma and Rudiger are going to have their work cut out. It's a high-intensity start from Leicester. Can they keep it going? James Justin here for Leicester. Dennis Pratt into Ayoze Perez. That's nicely done. Tielemans trying to get around Rudiger, and Rudiger has seen it round for a goal kick, and you can see that there's a little bit of a mini inquest going on.
Yeah, there's some frustration there. Rudiger and Zuma at the heart of that Chelsea defence. They're being pressurised. He does well here, uses his strength, holding Tielemans at bay. Looked like he'd taken a good first touch. But I think he's not happy that they're playing the ball into dangerous areas without any real pressure from that Chelsea midfield.
That's a foul ball by Soyuncu on Tammy Abraham. Free kick to Chelsea, and some respite for Chelsea. This is really the first time in the game that they've had possession inside the Leicester half of the field. They work it back into their own back four. Here is Rudiger, who scored twice on this ground earlier this season in a 2-2 Premier League draw. They are his only goals for Chelsea this season, and they both came in that game.
Yeah, Steve, it seems to me that they're just trying to set the trap, Leicester, whereby they allow Rudiger to have possession of the ball, to play the ball out to the right to Reece James, and then they're going to press, whether it's Vardy cutting off the square ball, Harvey Barnes leading the charge, and the players from that Leicester midfield following them in, closing really quickly.
Here's Caballero. Rudiger.
There it is again. They play the ball to the right back, and immediately they all squeeze in Leicester City.
Well, it's like Brendan Rodgers has spent the last 3 days coiling up a spring, and he's just unleashed it, and Leicester have flown at Chelsea in these early moments. They're unlucky they're not in front. Perez now, look at the room he's managed to find. Barnes, the pace is impressive, but he can't quite find the deftness of touch.
And Steve, it comes about Willian losing the ball cheaply higher up the field. Immediately they play through the lines into the feet of Perez on this occasion, who's looking for the run of Vardy. Barnes electric down that left-hand side. Chelsea being turned round time and time again. He's clapping, he's happy. Frank, you just need to liven your team up.
Well, Brendan Rodgers was the youth team manager and then the Chelsea reserve team manager. He would love to beat his old employers. Barnes, Chilwell getting forward, Willian having to track back, James under pressure from Vardy with the clearance.
Again, that's an example of the confidence Leicester have grown. Chilwell getting forward on the overlap, dragging Willian back. He's having to track him all the way back into his own penalty box.
Breathless start to the game. Clive, let's just reflect on the comeback. You know, some people were doubtful about whether it was a good idea or not. We're a couple of weeks in now to what they term Project Restart, and I think that everybody would say that the games have been quite low tempo. This certainly isn't, but it's certainly been worth doing. I mean, coming back has been so important.
Absolutely, vitally important for the Premier League, for football. We all missed it. I know that I did, and it's great to see. I think now you're starting to see, and certainly there's an example of it here today, where these players are getting back up to top speed. The intensity, the way this FA Cup quarter-final started is very impressive.
In the words of the old song, you don't know what you've got till it's gone. And for 3 months, what we've taken for granted, top-class football week in, week out, was badly missed. This has been a top-class start to this game.
I do think Chelsea may have paid the price for the 6 changes that Frank Lampard has made. Obviously, a younger element has been introduced today, and all of a sudden they've just been knocked onto the back foot in the way that Leicester have started this FA Cup quarter-final.
But they've not delivered a tangible blow, Leicester. They've unsettled Chelsea, certainly, but they have not yet, in boxing parlance, connected with Chelsea's chin. Nearly, but it is 0-0. Reece James with this throw-in.
And Steve, it's the FA Cup, the magic of the FA Cup.
Well, Leicester have certainly got themselves up for it. And Ndidi, Dennis Pratt back to Soyuncu, Chilwell high. It's Johnny Evans at the back for Leicester. Excellent signing he has been, of course. People say, oh, well, Johnny Evans has won everything in the game, but Clive, actually, he hasn't. He's never won the FA Cup, despite all those years at Manchester United.
Yeah, but I think he's been an outstanding contribution to certainly this Leicester City side, with Soyuncu alongside him, Chilwell at left back. Pryor would probably be the first choice, but injured, but Justin's come in there. They've been consistent across that back four for a number of games now.
If Johnny Evans could get his hands on an FA Cup winners medal, it would complete his domestic set. Premier League winner 3 times, League Cup winner twice. Here's Emerson. We haven't seen him in a Chelsea shirt since January. Back in at left back. Gilmour. Willian. And here's Reece James, another one of the emerging youngsters at Chelsea.
Steve, it's better from Chelsea. They've just settled. They've weathered that early storm. You can see there's a number of first-time passes now. They've realised that the pressure's going to come quick. Billy Gilmour, Kante in that central area. The ball's coming into them. They're aware of, they can feel that pressure. They're playing one touch now, keeping possession of the ball. That's exactly what Frank Lampard's team needed.
Here's Zuma. Zuma away to Emerson. Chelsea have already been very active in the transfer market. The window hasn't opened yet, obviously, but here comes Ziyech from Ajax, will be a Chelsea player next season. Timo Werner will be a Chelsea player next season. And they say that Kai Havertz could be a Chelsea player next season. And who knows, Ben Chilwell could be a Chelsea player next season, but they're going to spend all right, that's for sure.
Yeah, very impressive additions to the squad, there's no doubt about that. Ziyech, a real technician. Timo Werner will bring goals, will bring pace to the front line.
And left back, talking about Chilwell, has been a bit of a problem spot for Chelsea. Obviously, Azpilicueta does, you know, for a right back, does a pretty good job as a left back, but, you know, it's not ideal.
No, and it's that natural balance. Certainly Chilwell gives that to this Leicester defence. You can understand why there's interest from Chelsea. Alonso has been a good servant for the club, but moving forward, Ben Chilwell on that left-hand side for Chelsea would look good.
That's out of play. Some of the early thrust has just gone out of Leicester's play because Chelsea survived it. They were rocked, but they weren't felled by Brendan Rodgers.
I think Brendan Rodgers' team tried to sting Chelsea early. Frank Lampard will be the happier now after 12 minutes that his team have settled.
Here's Vardy, though, from Barnes, little touch around the corner. James Justin back in field to Dennis Pratt, onto Ndidi. Johnny Evans, Soyuncu. Barnes to Chilwell. Barnes was clattered by Mason Mount. That's going to be a free kick to Leicester. Actually, it was Reece James who caught him, not Mason Mount.
Yeah, he just slips as he closed down. You can see there his left foot slips and he off balance slides through and catches Harvey Barnes. Just feel they might carry a threat, Leicester, from set pieces as well. Soyuncu, Ndidi, Evans up.
Yeah, they're all there. Tielemans leaves it. Actually, it's curled in, and there is that threat. It was a free header for an Ndidi, straight into the gloves of Caballero, but it wasn't brilliantly defended.
He wasn't marked, and it was just slightly behind him. Difficult for him to get any power and head the ball down to trouble Caballero.
Caballero's long clearance away downfield has gone all the way through to his opposite number, Kasper Schmeichel.
I think that might be Schmeichel's first touch, Steve. 13 minutes in.
Yeah. Could well be. Here's Dennis Pratt. Johnny Evans. Drilled away to Chilwell. Soyuncu. We saw Harry Maguire win the FA Cup tie for Manchester United yesterday at Norwich. Soyuncu, of course, has come in and replaced Maguire at the heart of that Leicester City defence. And I have to say, Clive, he's done a wonderful job. Leicester got a lot of money from Maguire, and you wouldn't say they haven't missed him at all, but my goodness, Soyuncu's done well.
He's done fantastically well. I think it's he's been consistent with his performances. Certainly, alongside Evans, they're a formidable pair.
Pulisic.
And Chilwell coming back, you can see he misses the ball and his momentum carries him in, does actually pull that left leg out the challenge. Pulisic hits the deck. Chance for Chelsea again, just to settle higher up the field.
Zuma's forward, Rudiger's forward, Tammy Abraham's there, Willian's lurking. Mason Mount is just outside the penalty area. Reece James is going to deliver this Chelsea set piece, which is very comfortable indeed, off the head of Pulisic for Schmeichel. Took his goal brilliantly against Manchester City in that Premier League game. Reminded me of Michael Owen, actually, the pace and the finish, the way he curled it around the goalkeeper's fingertips.
Certainly the way he dragged it away from Mendy first of all, and then wonderful finish.
Lots of crisp and precise passing at the moment. Chelsea slightly more than Leicester. Here's Chilwell back to goalkeeper Schmeichel. Here is Soyuncu. The game is now settled. Willy Caballero in the Chelsea goal today, and he found himself as, somewhat surprisingly, Chelsea's first choice goalkeeper for a spell in January and February. Came into the side as the injured Maddison, who's not available for Leicester today. Got himself a knock in training, James Maddison. Caballero replaced Azpilicueta for the fourth round win for Chelsea at Hull City, and when that team was announced, I don't think too many eyebrows were raised. Caballero often plays in the cup competitions, but for the next game, which was the 2-2 draw here against Leicester, Caballero kept his place and was in there for 6 or 7 games, Clive, and Kepa Arrizabalaga had to convince Frank Lampard that he deserved his place back.
Well, I think it was a young manager who certainly made a big decision. It was a big call. He was looking for competition. He was looking for pressure on what would be considered his #1 goalkeeper, and Caballero offered him that. And here he is again, playing in the FA Cup today.
That's good play by Ndidi to get the better of N'Golo Kante onto Perez. Quickly into Pratt. Pratt has a really decent ball into a very good area. It was attacked by Vardy, Barnes and Perez. Neither of them could quite get there.
Yeah, he's acknowledged by Jamie Vardy. He knows, he probably wasn't expecting that ball to be delivered first time from Pratt. Tielemans slides him in, and there's the first time cross. Jamie Vardy maybe just felt Rudiger was going to get the clearance. Brendan Rodgers again happy with the way that his team have started this game.
Move which started with Ndidi dispossessing N'Golo Kante. Of course, Ndidi eventually the man who has made that position his own since N'Golo Kante left Leicester. Took a little while for Leicester to find somebody, but Ndidi, I think, does that role very well, actually.
Yeah, I think he's made for that role. Allows Maddison, when he's playing, Tielemans, Pratt today to break forward. He will be that holding man. Has to be very concentrated and very disciplined in the way that he holds that central position.
Emerson, Chelsea's Brazilian-born Italian international, with the throw-in. Here he is again. Billy Gilmore forward, cut out by Tielemans. Here's danger. Vardy is ahead of him. Barnes to his left. Tielemans shoots. Caballero saves. It's a corner kick to Leicester. Well, Billy Gilmore again.
The young man's having a difficult afternoon. He really is, because whatever he's tried, whenever he's taken one touch too many, his decision to play that crossfield ball was really jumped upon by Tielemans. Had the opportunity to run at that Chelsea back four, and in the end it's a smart save by Caballero down to his left-hand side.
Certainly was. It's a corner kick. Tielemans to take the first corner of the game, on the cusp of 20 minutes played. That will be the second corner of the game. Well, Billy Gilmore came into the Chelsea side in their last two games prior to lockdown, against Liverpool in the FA Cup and against Everton in the Premier League, and he did not put a foot wrong. This has been an education, this 20 minutes.
You're right, Steve. He was exemplary in his performances, outstanding.
Tielemans with the corner. Caballero's stretching right-fisted punch. Here's Gilmore. That's tied here, finding Rudiger. Now James. But it's all part of the learning process.
Absolutely. And it will be a test for him. It's a test for his confidence as well.
And that was Emerson almost playing Zuma into trouble.
Well, there's been too many occasions in this opening 20 minutes where sloppy Chelsea passes have been capitalised on, but they haven't managed to end up with an attempt at goal. But they keep taking chances like this, Chelsea. Sooner or later, they're going to be punished.
This is Rudiger. Willian, good first touch that. And there are 5 or 6 white shirts charging forward here for Chelsea. This is Christian Pulisic cutting inside. Chilwell was there. Well, we thought it would be a good game, Clive, and it is.
It is a good cup tie, it certainly is. I think there's no doubt for me that the intensity of this game is of the highest level. All these players a few games back now certainly would be feeling back up to speed.
Emerson's throw. Here's Rudiger. Good chest off by Pulisic. Willian almost through to Emerson. It's come back to Pulisic. James Justin back to goalkeeper Schmeichel.
Well, Chelsea just starting to get a better service into the front players, being able to give the midfield players the opportunity to push forward and join and support Abrahams, Pulisic.
Billy Gilmore, tidy ball into Pulisic, who wriggles through a couple of challenges. Soyuncu caught him. Yellow card from Mike Dean.
Yeah, no doubt. Lovely balance from Pulisic, the way he rolled inside, then dragged the ball away with his left foot from the outstretched leg of Soyuncu. You can see clearly clips his left leg away from him. Mike Dean on hand and quite rightly issuing the yellow card.
And that means that if Leicester do get to the FA Cup semi-final, he will be suspended. Yellow cards are competition specific these days, and that's his second in the competition. Will bring him a 1-game ban. There is then an amnesty so that no one would miss the final off the back of 2 yellow cards. Here we go into the drinks break, and been lots of debate about the merits of a drinks break. Clive, we are in late June, of course. It's been quite warm in the UK over the last few days. Not so warm this weekend as it was 2 or 3 days ago, but it's become more of an impromptu coaching session than an opportunity to get some water.
Absolutely. Chance for the coaches to get some information to their players directly. I do think that the break sometimes just changed the course of the game. The momentum has, I would say, taken away from Brendan Rodgers and the way that his team have started this FA Cup quarter-final. Much of the same, I'm sure, will be the message from Brendan.
I would be delighted with aspects of the first quarter of the game, no question about that. This has been a pretty difficult 20-odd minutes for Billy Gilmour. There was Tammy Abraham giving him a little tap of encouragement.
Yeah, which is good, but also an opportunity for him just to calm down as well. Frank just giving him I'm sure, a little confidence boost, keep it going. Stop giving the ball away.
Well, if you are a young central midfielder and you want to be with a coach who will teach you things about playing centre midfield in the Premier League, none better than being coached by Frank Lampard.
You're exactly right. Maybe alongside Steven Gerrard, probably the best examples of the highest quality central midfield players that England have produced.
So the game will restart after that foul by Soyuncu, got a yellow card for it. And Rudiger finds Zuma. Emerson. The flick of Perez. Wonderful career. Frank Lampard had 106 England caps, 648 appearances for Chelsea.
Nothing short of phenomenal. His goal scoring from midfield, the contribution he's made to Chelsea Football Club as a player. He just looked a little bemused there for me after that break. I think surprised maybe in the way in which Leicester have started, and I would probably think that he'll be disappointed with the way that his team have started in the opening 25 minutes.
Scored over 200 goals from midfield for Chelsea. Lampard, here's Willian. Emerson.
I don't think you should underestimate that. He's up alongside any records that Premier League strikers would hope to achieve in a career.
Absolutely. Here's Gilmour. Zuma. Emerson. Rudiger dipping it away to Willian. First time into Mount. Ball just accelerated away from Mason Mount. Nice idea by Willian.
Yeah, clever pass, but just slightly overhit for Mason Mount, who's running in behind that Leicester midfield. Soyuncu across. But it's Chelsea have started after the drinks break with possession of the ball, which certainly Frank Lampard will be pleased about.
It's a Leicester throw. Tielemans taking it. Perez trying to help it on into the path of Vardy. Zuma made the challenge. He's been a very astute addition, actually, Jose Perez, hasn't he, from Brendan Rodgers. He joined Leicester in the summer from Newcastle. Might not start every single game, but he's never let Brendan Rodgers down.
He certainly hasn't, and what I like about him is he is a goal scorer. When given opportunities, he's a taker of chances, and he has been a good addition to this Leicester City squad.
It's Chilwell with the delivery. It's Evans with the header, and it's wide. And it's a let-off.
That's a chance. It really is. Good delivery from Chilwell in behind that Chelsea rear line. You can see Evans gets goal side of Rudiger. All he can't do is get the contact required. He manages to get a touch, but not the power or direction in the header.
Probably should have done. It's the possession stats since the drinks break, heavily in Chelsea's favour.
Yep, they've come out of that break.
Johnny Evans, 32 now. Soyuncu. been so strong defensively, those two at the back for Leicester City this season, that you could forget that actually they have a player who did pretty well and very well in a loan spell at Celtic last season, central defender Filip Benkovic, who's barely had a look in this season because you just can't dislodge those two. Reece James. Mason Mount. That's a lovely ball. Pulisic! Schmeichel got a touch on that. It's an excellent reaction save.
Oh, that's a really good, strong left hand from Schmeichel. First time he's been called into the action. Good build-up from Chelsea. Lovely first touch to give Pulisic the opportunity to fire the shot towards the top corner. Schmeichel really sharp to turn that over.
Well, it's been an excellent half hour and Chelsea nearly took the lead. Willian with this corner kick. Schmeichel thought about coming. Rudiger managed to get ahead on it through the crowd, but it's gone behind actually for a goal kick. Chelsea will be glad to have Rudiger back. He's had his injury problems during the course of this season. He's probably, I would say, Clive, Chelsea's senior centre-half, Rudiger, as he jabs in with a challenge. It's come back to Barnes. Barnes has wasted it from a narrow angle.
And for Harvey Barnes, that's a glorious opportunity. He's on his left foot. Rudiger jumps into the tackle here. Mike Dean gives Leicester the advantage. Barnes drags it onto his favoured left foot. Got to hit the target there. Got to test the goalkeeper. Again, he had the very first chance of this game. This is a second one for him. And he'll be so disappointed that he hasn't hit the target with his favoured left foot from there.
It was Tielemans who was caught by Rudiger in the build-up in that attack. It was a good advantage played by Mike Dean. Here's Perez, Chilwell.
Well, Steve, I think going into the quarter-finals, we thought that this one was going to be very, very difficult to call, but there's been a couple of opportunities for both sides. The Pulisic shot, well saved by Schmeichel. Harvey Barnes with a couple of clear opportunities. Really good cup tie.
The only surprise is it's been such a high-tempo attacking game is that it is still, as you can see, 0-0. James Justin with this throw-in. Learning his trade at the top level, Leicester's number 2. Here he is on the ball. Perez. Nicely done, Ayoze Perez. Good cross that, headed away by Gilmour.
Really good combination down that right-hand side. Gilmour does well to get himself back into the 18-yard box to head the cross away.
Mike Dean blows his whistle. I think the ball has gone out of play. Chilwell just failed to keep it in. There are the socially distanced substitutes. Strong bench.
Very strong bench, you see. Barkley there has had a very, very good FA Cup.
Ruben Loftus-Cheek there we saw, who is amongst the Chelsea substitutes, and the old cliche goes, it'd be like a new signing having him back from injury. He hadn't played at all prior to the lockdown this season. He's on the bench today. Foul by Vardy on Zuma.
As you said, Steve, a very strong Chelsea bench, and the additions that they're looking to add in the summer as well. It's going to be a very strong squad for next season's campaigns for Chelsea.
There'll be some outs as well. Pedro is going to Roma, I believe. Willian is not going to be a Chelsea player next season. I think quite a few very significant clubs around Europe have their eyes on Willian. Pulisic, lovely turn that, and he stayed on his feet and was dispossessed by a very, very well-timed challenge. Tammy Abraham thinks he's been fouled.
Justin with a magnificent sliding tackle. Great example here. That right leg stretching out is a superb turn by Pulisic, but Justin followed him and made a timely tackle.
Yeah, excellent stuff. Player that arrived at Leicester from Luton Town in the summer. It's only his 11th appearance of the season. Ricardo Pereira is out for the rest of the campaign, so injury permitting, the 22-year-old James Justin will probably play the majority of the matches between now and the end of the campaign. Here's Reece James. Oh, James got away with that. He might not have done. Harvey Barnes took a chance, didn't quite nick the ball. Emerson forward. Didi, Chelsea's throw-in. Well, there's no surprise that it's evenly matched. It was 2-2 here in the league, 1-1 at Stamford Bridge. Leicester a third, Chelsea a fourth.
Very, very little between these two sides, no doubt about that. I see this going right to the wire.
They lost the League Cup semi-final this season. Brendan Rodgers, who hoped to go better in the FA Cup, and were beaten over 2 legs by Aston Villa. It's a corner.
Yeah, Rudiger having to come out quickly to block the attempted cross by Chilwell.
Tielemans to take, Perez, Vardy, Evans and Didi, Barnes, Soyuncu all forward for Leicester City. He missed it the corner badly.
Well, that is very unlike Tielemans. He's normally a deliverer of good set pieces.
Close down by Reece James. He's done well. He found Chilwell. Willian reacted quickly for Chelsea. Of course, he had that unblemished record as Celtic manager, Brendan Rodgers, including both the domestic cups in Scotland. Won every domestic tournament that Celtic entered under his guidance.
Oh, an incredible record.
That's come off Pratt and fallen nicely. Jamie Vardy here for Leicester, and good recovery by Billy Gilmour.
Well, he's played that pass inside from the left-hand channel, infield centrally 2 or 3 times as young Billy Gilmour, and they've been intercepted.
Now Tielemans. James with a little trick to try and get out of a hole, but Ndidi had to, N'Golo Kante had to slide in. Here's that little ricochet.
Well, there's no doubt the analysts will be looking at his game. They'll be showing him those passes, those mistakes that he's made, and good players they certainly take that on board and will learn the lesson.
Pulisic getting forward. James Justin went with him, his Willian. Almost into Tammy Abraham. It's been a frustrating match so far for Tammy Abraham. His touch map might be interesting. Seems to me he's been on the periphery of things a little bit. Given away again. Perez. Well, he only turned 19 2 weeks ago, Billy Gilmore. You're not going to get perfection week in, week out from anyone. He's a huge talent. But this is a bit of a new experience for him, the first 40 minutes of this game. I would imagine that a player of his ability, I can just imagine him having breezed through youth football and finding it all coming very, very easily indeed.
Oh, especially after those first 2 games in the first team where he was absolutely fantastic. Everything he tried came off. He'd be probably thinking that it was quite easy, but this is a lesson to be learned this afternoon in the way that this game's unfolding for him.
Last 5 minutes of what's been a really good watch first half. Chilwell did well to get the cross in just over Jose Perez. Run from Tielemans was ignored by Pratt, couldn't work a way of getting it into the area. And Didi, Pratt again. Perez making that run once more, and N'Golo Kanté trapped it.